It's time to laugh, learn, and take your photography to the next level with your favorite cowgirls with cameras, Kara, Kim, and Phyllis.
Welcome to the Cowgirls with Cameras podcast. I'm Kim with Kim Beer Photography and Be More Business.
I'm Kara with Fast Horse Photography.
And I'm Phyllis with Phyllis Burchett Photo.
We shouldn't record this late in the day. We've already had like 2 false starts to this podcast. And
You know,
so
we say
hopefully
that every
this is a
single
real
time.
one. It is a real one. So, oh, yay. Well, it feels like forever since I've seen you all. Not. I just dropped Phyllis off at the airport 2 days ago.
Listen, we're doing what we need to do to get another podcast episode out to our community because we have been on the road. We have come back and hit the ground running with our to-dos lists and all the things that we got behind on while we were gone, but we're here. And it might be evening, but we're here.
Well, we just got back from Dry Head, from our annual Dry Head trip out to Montana. I keep still saying Wyoming sometimes, but it is definitely Montana. And all three of us got to we road tripped our way out there, which was fun. and then shared a lot of great time and images
Got a lot of work
and
done.
horses together. Yeah, we did. Some of us more willingly than others.
That's because we were a captive audience.
Yeah, we were literally trapped in the car together for 2 full days of travel. So we had to work. We had to take that time. It's like truck office time.
Yeah, except I'm going to be realistic with everybody listening to this. The truck office time
Don't you throw us under the bus.
was incredibly short. It didn't start happening until after we got through Douglas, Wyoming, which is the very, very last leg of the entire trip.
Yeah, but we really used that time well, and it was like really like our brains were firing all cylinders.
Are you sure about that?
Some of you.
Oh, goodness.
I think we didn't really fire till all cylinders until that one day at Dry Head where it was our Monday before the crew, all the gang got there. And Kim forced us into it. She says, I'm not going to make any more decisions. You two have got to speak up.
Well, you know what? Sometimes we need that. So good job, Kim.
Oh, gosh.
And good job, Phyllis and Kara, because you rallied and you did a good job.
Well, it's been working all the time before. I don't know why it didn't work that time.
Oh, goodness. Yes. Every time I would ask them, so what topic do you want to take? Oh, I don't care.
Whatever's left
it doesn't
over.
matter. Any of them. I'm like, you all have to make decisions.
It was hard.
Oh, goodness. That's because to me, I like all the topics. So sometimes it's hard for me to pick which one I want to talk about. Anyway, so we had a lovely trip at Dry Head, lovely time at Dry Head. Always such a fantastic family to work with Jesse and Jake and Kristen and Jennifer and all of the lovely crew there. And everybody was really enthusiastic, and it did rain a little bit on our parade.
And cooled off, which was nice.
Yeah, it was really hot when we got there, and then it rained some. And the first morning we shot, we had these very skulky clouds and kind of a gloomy sky, but it was really an interesting gloomy sky. And I've looked at some of my photos from that morning, and I really liked them until the rain got too heavy on my lens, and I didn't notice. So, yeah, some of them are a little artistic.
I've been trudging my way through family pictures a little bit.
I'm jealous. I haven't even had a chance to look at mine.
Jealous? You're jealous that I'm working on family pictures?
At least you're getting to work on them and get started on that task. I have seen your portraits from that time there to get done.
Well, and to be fair, this family, we have got them pretty well trained for their family portraits. Like I have to say that went incredibly smoothly with them, getting them to stand and I mean, they kind of know the drill at this point, so it's super easy to work with them. And they were so beyond willing this particular trip out. I feel like I asked more of them with moving stock and doing different things, and than we have in the past. And they rose to the occasion. And I was telling Jesse before we left how amazed and impressed I am that their horse handling skills, like being able to handle that large herd of horses and put it and position it exactly where we need it,
Yeah.
is uncannily good. I mean, that is just so hard to find. Even really accomplished riders and herds of horses that are used to being moved have some difficulty on occasion, and they were just perfect right where we needed them every single time, and super excited about the shots I got.
It still amazes me that they'll send one person out to get 75, 80 head of horses in the mornings.
I
I
know.
mean,
I can't
and
even
they're
wrangle my 5 into the barn by
they're
myself these days. I have to do it
yeah,
one at a time.
and they're not like right around the corner. They could be way out. I mean, in the back 40,
Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
When I say 40, I mean 40,000. So I just think it's pretty impressive that I mean, even the kids can, one kid can go out there and wrangle them back
Yeah.
in.
One 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, and then if you think about that, those horses are so broke to the routine, and then we ask them to repeatedly break that routine.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was amazing. The last day, I think the horses had it with us. They had a little bit of a moment on the last couple of passes. On the very last
They
day,
were
they're
just
like,
showing off
"Woo,
for
we're
Yeah,
us.
gonna have some fun."
they did kind of go rogue on us a couple of times, but that's
Yeah, and
okay. That's what makes it fun.
it
Yep.
does, and you get good photos that way too. So we had a lovely group of ladies join us, and some people that it was their very first time at Dry Head, and then we had some repeats, and so much fun,
It
and
was a
such a good
great group. A really fun group.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody else been up to anything interesting other than going to Dry Head and back?
I haven't stopped. Every minute has been scheduled to the minute since we got back. I just picked my poor dog up. She had to have her teeth cleaned and they found a broken molar.
Oh, no.
Which is why I was 10 minutes late getting here today because she had to have extra anesthesia. She had to have a nerve block. They did a whole thing. They had to pull her tooth out and then get
Aw.
stitches. And I had to sit there and get all the instructions and everything. So she is home now, but I made it in here, I don't know, 5 minutes after we were supposed to start recording. So that's what I've been doing.
Well, I definitely feel for her. I know what that tooth pain can be
Well,
like.
yeah, you had tooth pain last week.
Phyllis
I didn't
ate
have
a
a molar.
sandwich.
I ate a sandwich. Who knew that a sandwich could do such damage? Thank goodness I didn't break a molar though. So
Yeah, no kidding. That would have been way, way
Oh.
worse.
I
Ugh.
assume it's because she drags around like fence posts that have fallen over that I haven't picked up and tries to get me to like heft them and throw them 2 feet. And so she can heft it back up and drag it to me. So we're going to have to make some changes because the fence post thing, I think that's the only thing I can think that broke her tooth. So,
Well, at least you've not been chewing on fence posts, Phyllis. So
Not that I know of. Maybe who knows what I do in my sleep?
oh goodness. Oh goodness. Oh my. Okay. Does anybody else have any news or anything else you want to talk about? I think we do have dates for the 2026 Dry Head
oh, that's good.
workshop. And
Oh.
so I have not had a minute to update the website as of when we're sitting here, but by the time you guys are listening to this, it will be up to date and you can go claim your spot for 2026's Dry Head
Well,
photography
they
retreat.
better hurry because we're filling fast.
We
we
are.
already-
We've
yeah.
already got quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, we are.
What
We're
are the-
already like half full, aren't we?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the dates just for do we know the dates for the
They are
people
the
listening?
July 13th through the 18th, 2026.
13
Nice.
through
And that is in
18.
the Pryor Mountains in Montana. And we spend our time on a fantastic guest ranch. It is probably one of the most relaxing settings, I think, as far as like, Chris, I sleep well there. But the rest of the world may not find it as relaxing,
But-
but I sure do.
I don't like to, I mean, I know I know that's part of their business as a guest ranch, but it's a cow-calf operation. It's
Yes.
a quarter horse breeding operation. It's so much more than a guest ranch. So,
It is.
it's a real authentic Western lifestyle ranching experience.
Yes.
Yes.
And in a very, very beautiful setting
Mm.
against the Pryor Mountains.
And man, we had some
So
skies this year too. We had
we did.
one
We
day where we had
did.
365-degree, just incredible sunrise all morning. It was just it went
Mm.
on and on like all day. So
And
we had
on.
some gorgeous skies this year.
And on.
And on. I hope to
All
look at my
right.
pictures one day is what I'm trying to say.
Mm. You will. One day you will have to look at them. And
I'd
I'm
like
sure
to.
you'll have some stock images in there that you need to pick out.
Well, we also have a lot of Schaefer images to work on too.
Oh,
So
right.
Yes.
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 Thank you
Oh,
to Schaefer
and
for. Go
yeah, go
ahead.
ahead, Phyllis.
I was
No.
just going to say thank you to Schaefer for entrusting us with your wonderful Western apparel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and I also want to reach out and thank our sponsors who provided some great merchandise for our
Mm.
participants. So USB Memory Direct.
Yep.
Yep, they were the ones who gave us these very cute little zip drives that we were able to give to everyone so that they can store their photos on there when they're done. And we actually were able to gift one of those to the ranch as well, where they can put their images when they get them downloaded after their virtual viewing party. And then we were also able to give out a Guild Canvas golden ticket.
That's right.
And Shelly Chafin is the person who won that. So
Mhm.
congratulations, Shelly, and a shout out to you. And I know she already has plans. She showed us the picture she was thinking about getting put on the canvas. So very exciting. Kara, what do you want to add about those two particular sponsors?
Just that it was really amazing for them to come through, for us to give some support. USB Memory Direct has over 70 USB drive styles, plus you can make custom USBs. They've been super easy for us to work with, and we love our drives. Guild Canvas, that's a canvas company that is, to me, it's really one of a kind that I've been working with now for years. And it was really nice of them to gift us with a few golden tickets that are going to pop out at some of our upcoming events. And it was really exciting to see Shelly win the 16 by 20 canvas from them. I can't wait to see what she does with it. So
Me as well. Me as well. So shall we dive into our topic of the day?
let's do
Are
it.
we all
Let's
ready?
do it.
Yay. Okay, so we have spent the month of July talking about getting support for yourself. So one episode we spent talking about outsourcing. Another episode we talked about vendors like Guild Canvas and USB Direct that you can use. But this last episode of the month, we wanted to devote to helping you get support for yourself as a photographer and for your business. And these are a little bit of separate areas than necessarily outsourcing things or buying from a vendor. And so for today, I'm going to talk a little bit about getting support for your business. So really working on the business side of your business, not just working in it, but working on it. And then Kara's going to give us a little bit of information about getting some support for your mindset, because we all know there can be really tough days in any small business owner's life. And as a photographer, we have some added challenges with an occasional piece of equipment that doesn't want to work right, or the frustrations of not being able to look at your images right away when you get back from an event. So you got to keep your mindset fresh and focused. And Kara's going to talk about that. And then as photographers, one of the things that I find so wonderful about photography is it is a profession and a art that it's really easy to get into and it's incredibly hard to perfect. So there's a lot of times that you need support as a photographer so you can grow your skills and your capabilities and really refresh your creativity and push yourself out into the world as a photographer. And Phyllis is going to give us some insight on how you might be able to reach out for support in those areas. So I'll kick us off with the business part of things. And the first thing I want to talk about is really and truthfully, as a business owner, you need to work on building your network. And that when you get that is should be the support system for your entire business. It should be the underpinning of that. And that support system should include something called a roundtable. And I don't know how many of you have been introduced to the concept of having a support roundtable for your business, but to me, it's a crucial aspect of becoming a business owner. And so for that roundtable, you're going to put people in positions that some of them you're going to pay for help, and others of them may supply their help for little to no cost at all. And Phyllis and Kara's part of this program is going to be part of filling out your roundtable, but I'm going to talk specifically about how this would impact you from a very business standpoint. So, the first thing I want to draw your attention to is there's kind of three categories that I see are really beneficial in building your business roundtable. One of those categories is advisors. So, people who have an expertise in something that you don't have that you need to have in your business. People who are in this area are like your insurance agents. We, of course, are always concerned about insurance, and we have multiple different avenues for that. And we have insurance agents that we can rely on and ask questions of about any kind of liability that we'd have in any given situation. Anytime you include horses in any equation, there ups the ante for accidents. And so it's important to have a good insurance advisor that you can ask questions of. And that they can tell you, yes, you need to have this type of a policy. And many times that insurance agency can provide that policy. It also is really happy to know the person's name, like to be able to pick up the phone and call. I have a Tory with my insurance agency that I can call and ask a very specific question and ask it to Tory herself. So that's what I'm talking about there. Another person in this category would be a lawyer. So lawyers, especially somebody who has an expertise around copyright, is really important to have on your roundtable. So those are advisors. Then you have consultants. So these people are also people who have an expertise in a certain area, but they're going to help you understand how to do those things better, like how to better your marketing. So they're the type of people who are going to take the information that you give them about your business, and many times they have forms and questions so they can get exactly the right amount of information about your business. And then they're able to help you make better decisions and give you really good direction on where you should go next. This is a place that I've been living as in my business for many, many years. I've been providing this service for other people, and I also have people that I buy this service from. So, consulting is a really key point in your business when you're getting started, and then when you want to grow, or when you're encountering a problem or place in your business that isn't working really well, a consultant can come in and help you. And again, many times they're going to have an expertise. Like some consultants will have an expertise in digital marketing. Some consultants will have an expertise in business design. That's one of the places where I have an expertise is in business design. So you can hire a consultant. Consultants usually they're the ones that are going to give you direct advice on what it is you should do in your business. And their expertise plays into what advice they give you. And then in the final of those three categories, we have coaches. So, business coaches are people who are going to push you out of your comfort zone to do the things that your consultant or your advisor tells you to do. So, those folks may not have a specific expertise in photography or with photography, and that's totally okay. Coaches are people who can help you make the right decisions and also stay on track and stay focused. They get into dealing with part of what Kira is going to talk about, which is that mindset around helping you shape how you want to move forward in your business and keep you accountable for taking the steps that you need to take. And then the final group of people that I want to talk about that I feel like you should fill out your roundtable with are freelancers. So these are people that can pinch hit for you in specific areas when you need help, like a social media expert or somebody who can do website design. And you hire them for a very specific project and they support you by completing that project. So freelancers are an amazing group of people. And as a matter of fact, hey, most of us are freelancers that help other businesses with their photography, right? So help your other fellow freelancers by hiring them to help in places that you need help in your business. Now, sometimes you will have all of these people activated at one time. But most of the time, what you want to do is just build a relationship with individuals like an advisor, the different types of advisors, like a lawyer, an insurance agent, et cetera, et cetera. A good camera repair person might go in there as well. And then also build a good relationship with some consultants and also coaches and freelancers. And then when you need them, you can call upon them. That's the idea of the round table is you can bring a problem to specific people in your round table and they can help you get it solved. I suggest you do this really mindfully in that you sit down and you fill positions on your round table and you specifically ask individuals, hey, I may be interested in hiring a business consultant at some point in time. I'd like to talk to you about what you do as a business consultant and see if it would fit maybe down the road for me or right now. There is nothing wrong with getting to know people ahead of time and building a little bit of a relationship before you actually need whatever it is that they offer. I hope that helps.
That sounds like a smart idea. Okay, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the mindset side of things because in my experience, running a photography business can mess with your head. You know, everything from comparison spirals to burnout to that little voice in your head that just goes around and round and round saying you're not good enough. It's really easy to get stuck in those thoughts and your own thoughts. So I'm going to talk about taking care of you, the human behind the camera, because honestly, in my experience, if your mindset's in a good place, it just makes everything else seem like it's so much easier to get through. And I'm going to start with the one that I feel is like probably one of the more extreme ideas, but it's the one that's on the forefront of my mind right now, and that is getting support for your mindset in terms of therapy or counseling when you need it. And this is in my brain right now because I am going through therapy right now to deal with things in my own personal life that affects me everywhere because when you're having things in your life that are bothering you, it can affect all aspects. So I think it's really important to just kind of normalize counseling, normalize therapy as a really powerful tool for self awareness, for reducing anxiety, and just for handling those emotional roller coasters that come with being a business owner or being an entrepreneur. The toll that it can take, you know, being a business owner is something that's really, it's a real thing. Things like burnout, people talk about imposter syndrome. You know, it's not a business problem. It can sometimes feel like it's a mental problem. It's like a mental health thing that you're struggling with, right? So having someone to talk through some of that with, someone that is not another photographer, that is not a friend or family member, that is someone that's a professional to help you sort through some of that stuff. I think it can do wonders for your confidence and your ability to just move forward through some of that. It can really help you separate your identity from your business success or failures. And this was huge for me. I know we've talked about here before that in my past career, I really connected the work that I did to my identity. And it was so ingrained and connected that when I left that job, I didn't know who I was anymore to some extent. And that was like a trauma that I had to work through. And I didn't do a very good job of it at the time. And it, you know, is stuff that I'm dealing with even to this day, which, you know, my therapy is helping with that. So that's probably more honest than I should be in the world, but I'm just putting that out there in hopes of like letting people know that like don't be embarrassed or ashamed to like talk to
Mm.
someone. Other areas that I think are really important are peer support and personal accountability groups, like what Kim was talking about. When I think about this, I think about my Monday morning group that I have with my photography pal, Betsy Bird and Tracy Allard, a penny whistle. So Betsy Bird Ride the Sky. You know, we meet every morning and it's an accountability meeting to some extent. Yes, we bounce questions off of each other. Yes, we, you know, sometimes get lost in the mud of talking about life in general. But the truth is we set goals and we check in with each other and we ask questions and we bounce ideas off of each other. And it's a really good way to be business focused type of accountability group. And I know that some of our photographers who have attended our events have become really good friends and have created their own similar groups that are still going strong to this day. And it just brings me, I know it makes you guys happy too. It
It
brings me
does.
so much like pride and joy to see them out there in their own networks that they have created. And I hope that that continues for all of our events that we have coming up. So, some other things that I've mentioned here is along the lines of mindfulness practices. Regular meditation or grounding practices can really help manage your stress or improve focus and keep you calm during your like busiest seasons or during stressful times. I personally used an app called Calm before. I used it for about a year and really found it useful for different types of exercises. You can go through and kind of pick your level of woo woo. You can pick your level of the type of like meditation that is you're comfortable with. And I used a lot of different. I would do it in the shower. I would do it when I needed a break from work. I would sit and do a 7 minute calm activity, and it really helped me a lot. Just be more relaxed. And I threw this in here because I think it's really important. We know that horses love calm energy. They love
Well,
us being calm and being around that. I've said this before. I live heavily caffeinated, and I will sometimes walk up to a horse and they will let me know right away that I'm coming with like way too much energy. And I recognize that now so quickly. And my own horses do that for me. So I throw that out there. So if you can take these steps to like, work on your stress management, work on your anxiety, and just your feelings in general, like even the horses that you photograph are going to love being around you more. Okay. So I also want to talk a little bit about managing comparison and social media pressure because I feel like that's in our face all the time. Um, and just remind folks, that even though we're scrolling on social media and we're posting on social media, it's not a scoreboard. It's a highlight reel. It's our favorite images. It's what we're up to. But it's not a scoreboard. It's not something we have to feel so pressured about. I routinely mute and unfollow accounts that I don't feel good looking at,
mhm.
that trigger me, that make me feel like I'm not, like it just makes me feel some kind of way. I will think about what that is, but I will just unfollow or hide or block because I don't need that stress in my life. And so don't be afraid to do that. You don't need to keep tabs on what everyone is doing. It is unnecessary. And if it makes you feel yucky, then it needs to go in your life. Replace doom scrolling with content that fuels you. Like actively train those algorithms to make you happy. If you like to make sourdough like Kim does, you like to bake sourdough, turn your algorithm into a video machine. I love to watch goofy animal videos. That's what I'm trying to be fed right now. And I work really hard when things pop up that trigger me. I just send them on the way so that my algorithm is trained. That whole like, I built this algorithm brick by brick is like so true. Okay. I'm just going to say, just real quick, also knowing when you need to take a break and taking it. You don't need to work extra, extra hard so you can justify having a little time off. Like sometimes you just need to take some time off. It is okay to need to take a little vacation or to take a weekend. If you see everyone around you shooting on the weekends, talking about how busy they are, and you're not busy or you don't want to be that busy, that's okay. Like, just you have permission to not work as hard as you think everyone else is working because of what they're talking about they're doing all the time. You do what you need to do for you. The last little thing I want to talk about is boundaries. Not just and boundaries to specifically to protect your mental space. So not every client emergency is your emergency. That whole line about like what you doing something last minute or needing something last minute does not constitute an emergency for me. That's what I'm talking about here. Like a client messaging you after you've given them opportunities to order for weeks and weeks and weeks and saying they need an image tomorrow, That's not your emergency, so reminding yourself of that. Learn to say no to projects that drain you. And that sometimes takes some getting to know, like, what is going to drain you. You're not a wedding photographer, you're not a baby photographer. Those things exhaust you. You want to photograph other things. Like, really start thinking about those types of projects that you don't want to do. And then I'm just going to add real quick, just, having boundaries around your work, it gives you room to breathe, think, and work on those projects that you enjoy, or that are going to move your life or business forward. So I think it's Ken that says it all the time. The things that you say no to open up the space for the next right thing in your life. So that next yes. And that is something, when I heard that from her years ago, that has never left me. And it gives me the courage and the confidence to say no to projects that aren't going to move me forward or bring me joy. And it makes me feel justified in doing it, even though I don't need a justification. If that's what you need to say no, like I do, then there you go. So that's all I
Bless and
got.
release.
Very
Bless and
Bless
release.
and release.
Bless and release. Bless and release. That's our new hand signal for that, by the way. So if you're not watching this on
Did we just make
YouTube,
that
you're
up?
missing. We just did, and I think that's now a subconscious hand signal. So when you see that, that's a
Yeah.
era. Let
If
it
I
go.
see you doing that, if any of us do this at
Bless
event,
and
we're blessing and
release.
releasing.
Is
Gotcha.
that like the birds flying away off into the
Yes,
wobbly
that's
yonder?
exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
Or
the
like the
birds
picture
flying
face.
away. The picture face. Oh, goodness. I gotta take a moment to just say, also find business partners that you can laugh and
Yeah.
enjoy to have in your life that will, that you can do
Yeah.
just a simple hand gesture and they know exactly what they need to do. So I highly encourage business partners like that. I do want to say a couple of things about some of the things you said, Kara.
Go for it.
One of them is on the horses. So one of the things, as you know, I'm an equine gestaltist, and if you have access to a horse that you're not wanting to, it's not a necessity for you to photograph. You just have access to a horse. Take a moment and put that horse in a round pen or somewhere where they can't eat, because horses are going to eat. If they have the opportunity, they're going to graze. That's way more important than you are. But just get yourself a chair or get yourself a way to be comfortable. If you can't sit down, stand, and just ground yourself right in the middle of that round pen and just get into your body. We spend so much time in our head. And I know that we're talking about mindset, but sometimes you need to drop into your heart space. And horses love us when we're in our heart space and when we're in physically inside of our body and not floating around into the million other things that there are in the world. And just see if you can bring enough calm into yourself that your horse is magnetized to come over to you. And then don't touch the horse. Stand in receiving of the things that that horse has to give you. And take a moment and just receive and allow them to support you. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things that can happen between a horse and a human is when we stop trying to manipulate the energy and start being on the receptive end of it.
There's Kara.
Oh my God, I was just thinking
Aw.
about
I
that
was just
video.
thinking about that too. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That so reminds me of that reel you posted last week or I don't know, a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
where you were just sitting there and he came over and he just started kind of nuzzling you and
He
I
was
don't know.
he was just in
I
my
just
neck,
love
and he wasn't doing really anything other than just like breathing on my neck.
I
And he
really
did
love
that
that.
jaw clinchy thing. I don't know
Mhm.
what that was, but he did like a jaw thing. And then he just like hung out there. He didn't want to leave. And I was having an argument in my head with someone. And then I was like, I just need to sit down and take a break. And I literally was sitting there and I was just like grounding myself
Yeah.
out of it. And he was hanging out with me. He's my good
Yep.
boy. That's my chiefy boy.
I know you're not on social media anymore, Kim, but it's worth it to you to go look at that.
She showed it to me,
Oh,
and
okay,
I
good.
remembered telling her she had
Mhm.
something to say because the horse was hanging out at her
Mhm.
throat chakra, like, "Here, you need to talk," and he was, like, breathing on
Mm.
it, giving her power, and then that jaw thing you were talking
Mhm.
about, Melissa Pierce, my mentor, calls that leeching, and it's where horses release their negative energy, and if you watch horses in a herd, it's particularly after they've been like, after while we're photographing them, after they've moved them and then let them settle, a lot of times you'll see horses doing that next to each other, and usually it's one of the
Mm.
calmer horses doing it next to a horse that's nervous. It's not always, it's not 100%, but if you just start to pay attention to horses around you, horses
Mhm.
have so many valuable lessons to teach us to be better human beings, and being chill and zen is definitely one of their master skills. So we could learn a lot from them in being able to do that. So, and also, I did take the break from social media. And just like Phyllis says, I'm not on it anymore because I got to tell you, I had to protect my personal peace.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means that there's a choice that you have to make. And I may be back someday, I may not, but I protected my personal peace. And I attribute my ability to heal through my surgery is protecting that personal peace. So thank you for all of that.
Thank you.
All right. Phyllis, are you ready to chitter chatter about what we can do with mentorships?
Mine's not as exciting as Kara's was,
Oh, I
so
bet we could make it exciting.
We'll help out.
okay. I just okay. I'm going to talk about mentorships and or getting support for yourself as a photographer. And when I think of mentorships, I'm going to always think of like, especially as a photographer, that mentor is going to be someone in my industry, not just somebody like Kim was talking about, a business coach or something like that. It's going to be somebody that's experienced, that has already experienced what I'm going through at that time, and so I'm gonna give you some tips on how to get the most out of working with a mentor. And I think my very first number one suggestion or goal would be, if I was going to work with a mentor, is to be very clear on what your goals are. Before you begin, define what you want out of the mentorship. Before you even talk to your mentor, be sure, find out what it is that you want to get out of it. Maybe you're new to the industry and you prefer not to make any, or to avoid any mistakes. So go get a mentor. You might be feeling lost. I mean, even as an experienced photographer, you might need help with camera gear or settings, marketing, how to attract new clients. You'd like maybe you want to talk to somebody about contracts and insurance or client management, even social media tools and tips for your online presence, or even creating a website. Maybe you just need help finding a style that feels like you and stands out. I know I help a lot of people with their editing and trying to pinpoint, I help them, but I don't want them to copy me. I want them to find their own style. And so I think that's really important, is as photographers, we need to find out what makes us stand out from the masses of other great photographers that are out there. Maybe perhaps the business side of things has got you stressed. I know when I was first getting started, I know it really stressed me out a lot because I really don't know that much about the business side of it, even though I've pretty much been an entrepreneur all my life. Are you seeking guidance on a specific skill? Maybe you want accountability just to stay on track with something you're doing, or maybe you're just plain feeling alone. We're all solopreneurs in this, or most of us are, and so it really can get lonely out there. And I think it's good to have a cheerleader, and that's what a mentor is supposed to be. Is it's supposed to be a cheerleader to lift you up in what you're doing. Uh, Number 2 is, to working, how to get the most out of working with a mentor is, take the initiative. It's your journey. You're paying. That's what you're paying for. Your mentor is a guide, but you should be the one to schedule check-ins and bring topics to the table and follow up on conversations. Number 3 is this is really important, is be open and honest. Let your mentor know what you're struggling with or feeling stuck with. It's okay to let them know exactly. It's not, they're not there to judge you. They're there to help you. Number 4 ask questions. I've had people that I've worked with in the past, and sometimes people are afraid to ask a question because they think it's going to sound silly, or maybe they feel like they should already know it. But I mean, that's what you're paying them for, is to help you. So be specific on your don't ask just for general advice. Come with specific, thoughtful questions, like maybe like how would you if you're working with a mentor, how would you approach this kind of client situation, or have you ever faced a setback like this? How did you recover? A big one for me would be, what do you wish you had done differently at this stage in your career? Number 5 would be respectful of their time. Keep your meetings, whether it be Zoom or in person, keep them focused, show up prepared, and follow through on what you say you'll do. Respect really builds a great foundation of trust between the both of you, for that matter. Number 6 would be to reflect and apply what you learn. That's a big one. Is don't just go to the meetings and listen to what they have to say. Don't just hear their advice. Think about how it applies to you. Maybe even keep a journal about your takeaways, and try implementing their suggestions. If something doesn't work for you, be honest about that too, and let them know that this just didn't work for me. Um, Also, the last one I think is just show gratitude, and then even once you're done with your mentoring, once it ends, keep in touch, express appreciation, share your wins. I love it when people that I have mentored get back with me and let me know something even if it's just something as simple as their first job, or they won something in a photo contest, or they were asked to be in a gallery. Just please stay connected. I love it when people stay connected, and even after the mentorships have ended. And I don't think it makes any difference whether you're a seasoned pro, an up and coming photographer, just starting your business, or even an enthusiastic hobbyist who wants to up their game. A good mentor is there to help you achieve your photography goals, whatever they might be.
And there's like,
That's
there's no, like you said, there's no level, like, you know what I mean? Like,
mm-mm,
we work
no.
with mentors all the time. Like,
Hmm.
it's your individual goal, whatever it is that you want to work
Yeah,
on to move forward. There's someone out there that can help you
exactly.
with that.
Yep.
So,
And one of the best pieces of advice I got on choosing mentors is, when you're looking for a mentor, look for someone who is just a little further along than you are in the process, or where you want to be in the process,
yeah.
because that's the person that you're most likely to learn from, and who's going to give you the best piece of information. And yeah, one of the things that I want to talk about before we close up this particular part of the show, in so many things that I do in my life, mentorships are unique. In photography, they're different than they are in other places. So when I teach networking classes, I'll often talk about finding mentors in business, in particular in entrepreneurship. And many times those business entrepreneur mentorships are provided as kind of a pay it forward, pay it back type of a situation. But in photography, when you work on a mentorship package with a photographer, that is almost exclusively paid. Like, there are very few mentorships in photography that are going to be that free situation. So just know, when you're going in and looking for a mentor, you likely are going to be paying for that situation. And that makes it even more important to you got skin in the game. And I think paying for mentorships is actually really beneficial, because it gets you to pay better attention and actually
Mm.
move towards utilizing what you have learned, and to ask better questions. As a mentor to other people, one of the things that I want to reiterate, and Phyllis did mention this, is to, be honest and be open about where you are in your skill level. I feel like some of mentees come into my orbit, and then they're afraid to ask the question. Like, I don't mean to be intimidating, but I guess I am on occasion. That's not the goal. Um, but don't if you hire a mentor, don't let your lack of confidence in a specific area, that's why you hired the mentor, right?
Right.
They expect you to be in a position to ask questions that they know the answers to. That's part of the point. And so be open and be honest, and do not, it's as a mentor, and this is speaking just directly from me, I don't need you to impress me. I am sincerely here in service to you and want to help you. And I want to know what you need help with to get to the next step and to get to your goal. So being completely open and honest and telling me, hey, I didn't understand what you just said. Can you say it a different way? Or, I don't know how to do even though it's a really basic skill. You know what? I don't even want to admit how long it took me as a professional photographer to understand the exposure triangle. I don't even want to go there with y'all. I don't want to go there. It was a long freaking time. So there's no question too big or too small to ask your mentor.
That's
Nope.
such a good point. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I hope this episode gives folks some things to think about. Just a note, we will be releasing 2026 dates for events very soon. So definitely check in on the podcast. But if you want to know sooner, head over to our website, cowgirlswithcameras.com, or double check our social medias, because as those come out, we'll be releasing those as well there. Honestly, the first place that's going to hear about our events will be our private Cowgirls with Cameras community. So if you want to get in quickly, especially to that dry head event, which is already half full, definitely reach out to us. But you can look for those events. If you're in our community, pop over there. It's cowgirlswithcameras.com/community, where
No,
you can
just cowgirlswithcameras.community.
community. Sorry,
No slashes.
cowgirlswithcameras.community, no slashes. Join us over there. If you are already there, just keep checking in, say hello, make sure that you're getting the updates. If you want to find us online, we are on Instagram and Facebook right now at Cowgirls with Cameras. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Cowgirls with Cameras. Don't let the laughter and learning stop here. Join our community on social media and be sure to visit our website for more opportunities to fulfill your photography goals. Head to cowgirlswithcameras.com. That's cowgirlswithcameras.com. See you next time.